feelings around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we'll be giving you our player ratings on Tottenham's 1-0 win against Fulham in the Premier League, as Harry Kane's goal gave us the 3 points at Craven Cottage. So we're going to start with Hugo Lloris in goal. I'm going to rate it a 7. Hugo Lloris barely had anything to do today. He maybe made like 2 saves all game, but the saves he had to make were good. Our defense was really good today, so there's really nothing he had to do, which is a good thing. That means the defense was so good. We want this to happen every game. We don't want Hugo Lloris to have work, but I hope this is the start of his good performances again and him being more consistent, because recently he hasn't had great performances. He's pretty shaky against Man City, really bad own goal against Arsenal, and not a great performance a couple games before against Aston Villa. So I hope this is the start of more consistent performances from him and no errors. But again, our defense was so good today, which was keeping him from doing much work. So next we're going to move into our defense and onto Cristian Romero. I'm going to rate Cristian Romero a 7. He was really good at defense today. Of course, we all know he's really physical, and this was a really physical London derby, which really suited him. A couple times he did foul Mitrovic in aerial duels. He just went over the top of him. Mitrovic was just kind of doing smart striker play and just trying to draw the foul from Kuti, because, sometimes he does go in on rash challenges, which he did some of today. He did have a high boot at one point, close to getting a red card, did pick up a yellow. But Cristian Romero, other than his rash challenging, he was really good today, solid at the back. Next defender, Eric Dier. I'm going to rate Eric Dier a 7.25. Eric Dier, really solid at center back today. Just like Cristian Romero, really physical London derby, which really suited him in the aerial duels. He was really physical when he needed to step up. He did, and slowly, I see the mistakes are starting to come out of his game. Ever since that mistake against Brentford to give away that corner, the mistakes have slowly been getting out of his game, which is good. I mean, we probably should have found a replacement for him long time ago. Probably the last summer transfer window, but he's proven to be pretty good this season, and he's on the high right now, and he's getting better and better as each game this season goes on. So more things to come from Eric Dier. Next, we're moving on to our left center back, Ben Davies. Ben Davies, I'm going to rate him a 7. Davies, after not the best of displays against Manchester City, was really good today. Held his ground, really solid at the back. He was the clear choice over Clement Lenglet today. Lenglet having a horror show against Man City with that terrible of a chest for the last goal that really sealed it for Man City. So when really both of our left center backs were out of choice and not doing well, but Davies stepped up, which with a good performance, which is just what we needed. So Lenglet, I think, has fallen out of the pecking order a little bit, but I think he'll be back soon. Maybe that was his first bad performance I've seen for Spurs this season so far. So that's not too. I don't want to be too harsh on him. That's just what he could just be having like one bad day. That's just one bad performance from him. So before Man City, we were always having Davies and Lenglet changing, since they were both kind of similar in their play styles, and like they play the exact same position, and they're pretty much at the exact same level and form. But now I think Davies has stepped up his game and crawled ahead of Clement Lenglet, and he's been doing really well recently. Really well today, especially. Next, we're going to move on to our right wing back, which is Emerson Royal. I'm going to rate him a 7.5. He is continuing his really good form for Spurs. After he got his goal against Manchester City and a great performance against them, he came to Craven Cottage and had a great performance here as well, making some great tackles, and he's really showing why we bought him now. It took him a year to find it deep in himself, a year and a half. But I hope he's starting to get more consistent now. 2 consistent performances in a row where he was good, which is a good sign for him. and he's still really young. So I think if we don't get Pedro Porro, we still have Emerson Royal. And if he keeps playing like this, Emerson Royal, he's been really good recently. So if he keeps playing like this, we don't have to worry about right wing back. Of course, he offers more than Doherty does, both in attacking and defense. Doherty not so great in defense. Emerson pretty equal in both. Defensively, he's much better. He has more pace, so he can deal with faster wingers much better than Doherty can. So I think for now, Emerson Royal is our first choice right wing back. Next, we're going to move on to Ivan Perisic, who had a horror show against Manchester City, but he's somewhat redeemed himself here. I'm going to rate him a 7. Perisic was pretty good today, pretty good defensively. He didn't make any mistakes, which was really his problem against Manchester City. Manchester City was pretty good in attack, but his defensive game was not good against Manchester City. Today it was almost like the opposite. Not that he wasn't good in offense, but we weren't really working down the left-hand side a lot. Everything was going down the center for us on the counter or on the right-hand side. We didn't really work our way through. It was all on the counterattack pretty much for us today. So he didn't really have that much involvement in attack, but his offensive play was pretty good today. Next, we're moving on to center midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'm going to rate him a 7. Højbjerg working in the engine room today. Some incredible work rate from him like we've been seeing in the past couple of games. This season, he's undoubtedly been our most consistent player. I mean, you could say Kane has been really consistent, but he's had some bad performances. Højbjerg, I don't think he's had a single bad performance this season. Maybe one, but today, superb from him. Superb work rate, and I really see him with Bentancur again. He does so much. I can really see a difference. He does so much better with Bentancur compared to like Bissouma. Even Pap, he still does well with Pap Matarsar, but he does miles better with Bentancur, who we're going to move on to next. Rodrigo Bentancur, I'm going to rate him a 7.5. Stunning performance from him. He showed us what he's made of today. We haven't seen a performance like this from him since Leeds because he's been injured. Man City wasn't his most convincing performance. He was still sluggish from his injury. But today, he's fully recovered, and he looked like his normal self with sharp passes, one-touch passing, quick movements, passes into the final third, which we always see from him, and winning the ball back in midfield, and his communication and partnership with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, which was great today. They were working really good together in midfield. So midfield was one of our best parts of our game. I mean, all of the parts of our game were really good today, but midfield was really good. Probably the second best out of the three. Our best part was probably our defense. But next, we're going to move on to Dejan Kulusevski in our attack. I'm going to rate Kulusevski a 7.5. Kulusevski, really good today. Everything in the first half was flowing down that right-hand side where he was. Nothing was going down the other left-hand side, but we were also going down the middle a little bit. But Kulusevski, really good today. Really physical. Of course, this game is kind of made for him. It was a really physical derby, and that's literally what suits him. He's a very physical player. Doesn't have the most pace, but he's very physical, and he did extremely well today on that right-hand side. Weaving in and out. That was one time when it looked like he definitely lost the ball, but he never lost hope on it. He kept chasing after it on that right-hand side, and then it eventually came off the corner flag, and he kept it in play and was driving into the box with it. So Kulusevski, also excellent work rate from him today. Next, we're going to move on to Heung Min-Son. I'm going to rate him a 7. Son, not the best performances recently. Still has not yet to find his consistency in the Premier League, but got an assist for Harry Kane's goal today, which shows a lot. I feel like he's getting slowly, taking little steps, getting back to his old self, but he still hasn't found it this season. You could see it today too, especially in the first half. He was struggling, couldn't get things to work for him. He was always getting pressured he was getting pressured a lot by the Fulham defense. They were like 3v1ing him, so that was just really good from Fulham's defensive part. But from him today, he was a little, you could tell he's a little frustrated on attack, especially when he was close to getting that red card for that challenge, but I don't even think it was that bad. But I hope he starts to score more and get back to his feet in the Premier League. And not the worst of performances from him today. Next, we're going to move on to Harry Kane, our goal scorer. I'm going to rate Harry Kane a 7.5. Of course, from him, that was a beautiful goal. And other than that, in the first half, he was barely getting involved. He took him a while to get his first touch. We saw this in another match. I believe it was Aston Villa on New Year's Day, where it took him such a long time to get his first touch on the ball. But when we need him, he steps up. And even if he gets like one touch the entire game, and it's a header that goes to the back of the net, and it's our winning goal, that's such a trademark Kane performance. Kane always does it, and his goal was even more of a Kane trademark on that little turn and finish. That's just so Kane. But today he showed his true quality. He can score. This is what sets him apart from other strikers. He can score any match. I feel like any team you put him into, he will do the business for you, for your team, and he will get the goals. Doesn't matter what kind of goals, long shots, headers, tap-ins, penalties, he will get those goals. And he can score so many different kinds of goals. We've seen this over the years he's been at Spurs, but this is what separates him from a regular striker and him. This is why Kane is better than Haaland. Kane is better than Haaland because of this reason. Kane can adapt so much better than Haaland, and he's just an all-around good, not just striker, but he can assist too and create chances. So that's why Kane really showed his class today. And that will conclude our player ratings for Tottenham's 1-0 win against Fulham. Make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe, comment your thoughts on the match, and comment your player ratings. And until next time, come on you Spurs!